Story 1. I-29F. Found out my fiancé, 27M, downloaded Tinder and Pure 3 years ago. Wedding in 2 months and I feel completely shattered. Hi everyone. English is not my first language and my heart is breaking as I type this, so I'm sorry if this comes across as messy. I feel like my entire life just collapsed and I truly don't know what to do besides crying to my fiancé, and I have been together for 9 years. We met during school, became friends, and eventually fell in love. He was my first kiss, my first everything. I came from an abusive household and previously identified as asexual, so I never thought I could feel this way about anyone. I thought what we had was rare and special. I truly believed he was my soulmate, that we've traveled the world together. We did everything together because we couldn't get enough of each other. Earlier this year he proposed, and I thought it was the happiest day of my life. Our wedding is scheduled for February. Everything is already paid for, including the honeymoon. I have my dress right here with me. Today, while using his phone to download an app, I noticed Tinder had a cloud icon with an arrow next to it. I'm an Android user, so it stood out to me. After Googling, I saw that this icon appears when an app was previously downloaded but isn't currently installed. I checked his purchase history and saw that he downloaded Tinder in 2022, and then Pure. Never heard of this one, but it looks like another dating app. 1 week after that, I confronted him, and at first he denied everything. He said he must have downloaded it when he was 16, before we met. Then that he had no idea how it ended up there, then that he was hacked, then that we were going through a rough patch and this is why he did it. Honestly, I have no idea if we were or weren't going through a rough patch in 2022. His story kept changing, and I was extremely taken aback because I never thought he could be someone who lied to me like that. After a while, he said he was ready to tell me the truth. He dropped the bomb that yes, he indeed downloaded Tinder, but that was because he was feeling suicidal, something he never told me, ever, and wanted reaffirmation that people still found him attractive. He said that he also deleted Tinder soon afterwards, before even creating an account, and that he has no recollection of downloading Pure, but that he must have done it if it's in his history. He confessed that he also has, and always had, a porn addiction. Porn is something we discussed in the past, and he said multiple times, apparently lying to my face, that he had no interest in porn, that I have no idea how to proceed. I feel so betrayed. This happened 3 years ago. He still proposed to me, planned a wedding, and let me walk into a marriage without ever telling me the truth. He used to be extremely judgmental of cheaters, and now I feel like I don't even know who he is. I keep thinking about how easily he lied and hid this from me for years that I moved across the world to be with him. I have a job here, but I'm on his visa and legally can't stay in this country without him. Our finances are fully joined. The wedding is in 2 months, that I've never felt pain like this before. I feel like I wasted almost 10 years on someone who could lie to me repeatedly and so convincingly that I've tried looking through his phone to see if he physically cheated, and I can't find anything. But I still feel completely shattered and lost. I don't know what to do. Do I quit my job and go back to my home country? Do we seek counseling? Is this something that can even be forgiven? Right now, all I feel is disgust, and that I'll never be able to trust him again. TLDR. Found out my fiancé downloaded dating apps during our relationship and lied about it for years. Wedding is in 2 months. I moved countries for him, and I don't know whether to stay or leave. Story 2. It has to end, but I'm so drained and can't find the strength. He's so helpless. TLDR, trying to break up with a helpless, fragile younger man with Asperger's and completely barred by my guilt and fear of his crazy reactions. I am so drained and depressed and have zero strength that my boyfriend, 28M, and I, 41F, have been together 3 years and lived together most of that time. Yeah, I know the age gap is a red flag. Sigh, long story as short as I can get it. This relationship is soul-sucking and I need to get out. Try as I may, I'm always left in the caretaker role. BC, he is helpless. He has Asperger's and his family coddled him so much he doesn't have even close to the life skills a 28-year-old should have. We never have fun. He will not hang out with my friends except with a disappointed frown on his face. He's mean and dismissive when I try to have an adult conversation. He likes to punish me with silent treatment or threatening to never let me see our dog again. Almost 2 years of couples counseling combined with individual counseling didn't do enough. It helped a massive psychosis problem he was having from smoking weed, but that's about it, and we recently moved to my home state where he knows no one. Story 3. AITA for asking my ex-husband's girlfriend to stop posting our kids on social media. I-33F have asked multiple times that my ex-husband, 32M, ask his girlfriend to stop posting our kids on social media. Every ask has been met with lots of conflict and arguing. My favorite line is him claiming I'm being controlling. Here's some backstory for y'all. We were together for 11 years, married for 6. We have 2 kids together, and he helps raise my oldest. We've been separated since last Halloween and divorced fully since May. Ex-husband and his girlfriend have been together since February. She met my kids about 10 days after she met him and has been in their lives ever since. They live together, and she seems to really love my kids. I don't really have a problem with her, except she continues to post my kids on social media with captions that make me and my family members extremely uncomfortable. I don't post my kids on social media often, and when I do, it's a couple pictures, and it's private, just fun updates for long-distance family. She's posting 60 to 70 pictures at a time, and frequently with captions like "our girls." She also doesn't like that I post about the things my ex-husband did to me through our relationship, so she has my Facebook blocked. So most of these posts are being shown to me by close family and friends who see it and are uncomfortable. My ex-husband thinks I'm just trying to be controlling and refuses to do anything about it. Am I the asshole for asking for these posts to be removed and for her to stop posting them? Story 4. It's been 12 years since my 54F son, 30M, last spoke to me. Today I found out he's moving to Europe. I'm literally shaking while I type this, so sorry if it's a mess, but I have no one else to talk to. My cousin called me an hour ago and asked if I knew the big news, and I had no idea what she meant. She sounded so awkward when she realized I didn't know. My estranged son, 30M, is moving to London. Him and his wife, 30F, along with the 2 kids, 4M, 2M, I've never met. They leave in 4 days. He's going across the ocean, and I had to find out from a pity call. I'm sitting on the floor of his bedroom and I can't breathe. It was always just us. We were best friends. I worked 2 jobs to get him those soccer cleats. I stayed up all night for every fever. He was my entire life, and I loved him so dearly. And then I ruined it. I know I did something sick. Close to his graduation, he threw a party, and a lot of his friends were there, and I was really lonely at the time, and I was exhausted, and his friend was there, and I just didn't think. I was horrified at first that I slept with a 19-year-old, but I was so alone I just went back to him a few times. It was just a brief fling that lasted a little over a month or so. I guess he started telling people, and eventually word got back to my son, and he confronted me. I couldn't lie to him. I've spent 12 years wishing I could rip those few nights out of time that I can still hear him screaming at me in the kitchen. It was the last time he was ever in this house. He said I was a disgusting old slur. He said I was an old hag and a pitiful excuse for a mother. He told me that every time he looked at me, he felt like he had to go vomit and scrub his skin raw. He said he wished I'd Ed instead of his dad. Then he grabbed a bag and left it. I thought he'd get over it. I really did. When he moved away 400 miles to college, I thought he'll calm down after a while. I gave him a year and decided to visit him during his sophomore year and drove to his college because I thought if he just saw my face, he'd remember all the good times we had and he'll forgive me. I even made his favorite cookies, and when I wanted to see him, he had apparently called campus security. I had to sit in my car and sob while the police told me if I didn't leave, I'd be arrested for stalking. My own son had them escort me out like I was a criminal. That I found out he got married from a Facebook post my cousin showed me. I have 2 grandsons, 4 and 2, and I don't even know what their voices sound like. I spend hours, literally 3 or 4 hours, every single night scrolling through strangers' pages, looking at tagged photos of his wife's friends, just trying to see a blurry glimpse of his kids. I saw a photo of the oldest at a park and I cried for 2 days because he has my nose that I still keep his room ready. I know people will say I'm crazy, but I don't care. Every Sunday I strip the bed and wash the sheets. I take his old track shirts and his flannels out of the dresser, and I wash them with the same Gain lavender scent I used from back in the day. I iron them. I press the collars. I fold them perfectly and put them back in the drawers. I keep his shoes lined up by the door. I spend hours going through old photos wishing I could bring back that time. I'm 54, and I'm a ghost in a museum for a boy who hates me. In a way, I guess I thought that maybe if I kept doing this and kept it the same, someday he'll come back to me. But he's officially moving half away across the world, and I'm never going to be able to accidentally run into them just nothing. The kid I raised all alone wants nothing to do with me anymore, and now he's going to London. He's going to be thousands of miles away, and my grandkids are going to grow up with British accents, and they won't even know my name. He's leaving the country, and he didn't even think to say goodbye. He's just done with me. I don't know how to keep doing this. I just want my boy back. I'd give anything to go back to when it was just us. I'm so alone, filled with misery. Story 5. Boyfriend, 18M, said he doesn't care about me, 18F, anymore. So my boyfriend of 2 years was recently diagnosed with a chronic disease, and it's been difficult for him. I've tried to be as supportive as I can always, asking how he's feeling and trying to make him happy when he doesn't feel well, and I thought things were okay, but recently he started becoming irritable and annoyed at anything I do. For context, he used to be a very calm and communicative person, and one of the things I admired most about him was how healthy it felt discussing issues with him. Now, he's been skipping a lot of school because he says he simply doesn't want to go or his body hurts too much from the disease, but then a few hours later he'll be going out and doing things with his family. I haven't seen him in over a week, and I've expressed how I'm sad I don't get to see him and how much I miss him. He got angry at me and said I'm not being sensitive of his condition, and then began to list violent things he wants to do, another symptom of the disease called Graves' rage, trying to scare me with it. I was very hurt by how he spoke to me, and he apologized but didn't seem very affected by it. This brings me to the main issue. I've already said I haven't seen him in a while, and I was hoping to see him on Christmas Eve, but he didn't come for the same reason he usually gives. It was a bad day in general with things happening at school, but what made me upset was the fact that he said he couldn't move and was just in bed but still wouldn't reply to my texts. I would reply in an hour or less at school, and he'd leave me on read for 3 or more hours before texting back. After school, he did the exact same thing, not texting me until late at night. At this point, I was fed up and got a bit angry at him, to which he responded that he thought about what I said and realized he doesn't care about me. I asked if it bothered him that he doesn't care anymore, and he said he doesn't know. This hurt me so badly, and I have cried nonstop because I don't understand how he could say this to me after everything we've done together. And the worst part was after he said that, he said he was busy with his family and just disappeared again. I'm so hurt by his actions, and I really don't know how to proceed with this, and I really need some advice. A TLDR boyfriend said he doesn't think he cares about me anymore after repeated conflicts and doesn't know how he feels about that. Story 6. Feeling crushed but still considering reconciliation. Hey everyone. I've been going through what feels like the worst time of my life these past few weeks, as I recently found out my BF had a PA earlier in the year. I am conflicted and confused and wanted to reach out to this sub in case someone has some perspective that can be of help to me. So where do I begin? Our relationship is 14 years old, and we have a 13-year-old daughter. We met and began a relationship as teens. Less than 2 years into our relationship, we had our baby. I found out when our daughter was 1 that he had a PA, likely before and during my pregnancy. I was in another state for college at the time of this infidelity. This was my first relationship, and as a new mom, I didn't have the tools to really analyze the situation or even heal, so I stayed. Fast forward about 4 years later, and I had what I justified at the time as a revenge affair PA. He stayed. Again, we didn't do any type of healing, counseling, or true reconciliation. Since then, our relationship seemed to have a lot of love and was relatively good, but has been sort of haunted by both affairs, with both of us bringing up the incidents and unrelated arguments, etc. About 2 weeks ago, I discovered by going through his phone that he had an ongoing PA for about 6 months at the beginning of this year with someone who worked as a receptionist in the building we lived in. This person has seen me and my family, approached me to tell me she felt like I don't like her, and has been generally rude to me and unprofessional. At the beginning of this year, he broke it off with me saying he didn't like where our relationship was going, but didn't disclose the affair. We decided to get back together after about a 2-week split, and he still didn't disclose. He says this affair started a few weeks before he broke up with me, continued through the breakup, and went a few months beyond that. This included PA, financial, emotional, and he often vented about me to her. IT has been 10 years since my affair, and I felt we were at a different point of life now. Older, wiser, combined assets, a teenager, etc. I was finally feeling to the point where I could trust him again and honestly, and clearly naively, thought he would never do this to me at this point of our lives. This just feels so destabilizing and soul-crushing. He says he wants to work on reconciliation and would never do it again, but I just don't believe his words. After my affair, the hurt I caused, I could never do that to him again, and I feel crushed that he did it to me again. Especially with someone with such proximity to my family, I feel publicly humiliated by them both. I really do love him and wanted this to work so bad, but I don't know if it's just been too much damage. Am I an idiot for wanting to try again given our history? I don't know, just looking to hear from someone other than my own thoughts on this. Story 7. What could I F32 do to help my sister, F35, not feel like the world is out to bring her down? TLDR, my sister had a very strict upbringing and feels our parents held her back from pursuing what she really wanted. She now struggles professionally and emotionally, blames our parents, especially my mom, for her failures, and refuses to take responsibility for her own choices. Recent conflicts escalated during her bar exam retake, which she failed and now fully blames on my mom. I'm frustrated and don't know how to deal with someone who sees herself only as a victim that my sister had a rough upbringing. She needed something different from what my parents were able to give her. They were very strict with her and didn't treat her with much empathy. She was picked on for not having good grades and for wanting friends outside our family's community. We're a migrant family. Her rebellion toward my parents was treated as something that needed to be sanctioned, rather than as a reason for them to reflect on their own behavior. She had difficulties in school because she's extremely shy and insecure. We live in Germany, where you need top grades to enter medical school right after high school. She didn't have those grades, so she wanted to move to the Netherlands, where you can take entrance exams instead. My parents didn't allow her to move to another country at the time because they feared she would distance herself from the family forever. Ever since then, she has never really found something that truly fulfills her. She ended up studying law, but she's never been particularly strong at it. She passed the bar exam, but she struggles to stand her ground when challenged, which makes things harder for her professionally. Long story short, she decided to retake the bar exam. In Germany, you can retake it once after passing to improve your grade. During the 2 weeks of exams, my mom helped her with everything, from laundry and cleaning to preparing meals. However, during those 2 weeks, they kept getting into arguments. According to my sister, my mom wants her to break up with her boyfriend and therefore looks for any reason to criticize her. My mom, on the other hand, says my sister is so tense that she takes everything personally and twists other people's words to fit her own narrative. That narrative is that she would have succeeded on her own if my parents hadn't held her back, and that she is always the victim. She failed all parts of the retake. Objectively, it doesn't cost her anything since she had already passed before. But according to her, she could have achieved a very good grade if she hadn't been fighting with my mom the entire time. She even called my mom to blame her and tell her she was done with her, while my mom was at my grandmother's house, who is so sick that she might pass away any day now. That I truly don't understand how someone can feel this much rage or blame others for everything all the time. What do you say to someone who refuses to take responsibility for their own actions? I'm so frustrated and would appreciate some advice. Story 8. How can I, 24F, get over his, 27M, past and gain respect back to him? Hi, I've been in a relationship with this person quite a while, but less than a year. My boyfriend, 27M, is very matured and emotionally intelligent person. At least that was how I, 24F, had been seeing him. Until he told me his past relationships details that he has told me he had 2 exes and had mutual breakups very beginning we started seeing each other. Then lately, there was a time to talk about details and turned out first ex cheated on him and the other one was situationship where the girl was unsure about him. Also told me when he was single, he was attracted and slept with women in a relationship with someone else knowingly. She stayed with the partner 2 BTW. The problem is, he still keep their contacts like IG's liking posts. Stop liking posts after he met me. Even not talking actively, letting people who hurted you stay in your life is not understandable to me. Even he tells me social media isn't big matter to him. He even said he's happy for them being happy. Now, his forgiving nature isn't very attractive to me because empathy without self-respect is self-sabotage, immo. I'm very demanding and harsh, killer instinctive. I don't like people pleaser costs they can't choose a side when I need them. Him low-key defending those cheater gave me weird vibe. I'm afraid of hurting him because of my nature and my traumas that I'm actively working on. I'm very grateful to have this relationship because it made me face my own flaws. He's very supportive and patient with me. But what if it's just because he's afraid of losing me? He's argumentative, calm when I get anxious or upset, tells me when I went too far. So I'd like to believe he's someone who can care people while standing for himself. I know I shouldn't be carrying his past where I wasn't even exist. But him not completely closing the door to the past that wasn't respectful bothers me a lot. Maybe I'm too focused to IGs since it's visible. I don't want him to unfollow if it's not what he wanted. He doesn't even talk about them usually. Story 9. I'm laughably hideous, but I can hide it so well with makeup. I've been called one of the most beautiful girls I've ever seen lately. All pity and self-compassion aside, I'm genuinely hideous. Like, it's undeniable. I've been made fun of for just about everything with my appearance by everyone in my life growing up. Started with classmates and my siblings, then my parents and older relatives, my maths teacher at one point. Granted, he was a mentally disturbed POS, and he often verbally harassed kids. In my case, he asked me why I always looked like an alien and made fun of my big teeth on another occasion. My friends throughout middle school and high school, snarky remarks, the likes of, "Oh, you're actually not ugly at all if you don't make any expressions," or "why your face is so asymmetrical as an artist. I really appreciate that." So I'm not the only one seeing this, that I've also noted my ugliness pretty early on as a child. One of my earliest clear memories was on a school day in the first semester of my first year in school, and I vividly remember looking at the other girls in class and thinking, "Oh wow, she looks so beautiful. What makes her so different to me?" Because the self-awareness and constant state of comparison started so early on, I have come to learn in academic nuance exactly what makes my face so detestable and unsightly. And I think I should also credit my skills and sensitivity as an artist for my current day makeup abilities. Starting the second year of university, I began to go crazy with the makeup, not in a colorful or expressive way, but in a very deceptive manner that I know just how much to take off the tip of my nose and how far to extend my nose bridge, how much dark tones to apply under the hollows of my eyes and next to my nose to take 1-2 cms off my mid-face, how to balance the recession in my lower face by shifting the visual weight with the saturation and amounts of the tones I apply on each third of the face. I practically became known as one of the prettiest girls amongst the students in my department. Not a single day goes by where I don't get complimented, blown a kiss, or treated so sickeningly sweet by someone, and what do you know? Male staff flirt with me and make excuses for my absence/lack of work. What tickles me is that none of those people know just how hideous I am. And yes, sure, the makeup does a massive part of concealing that, but if I move my face too much or make unnecessarily odd expressions, which I do uncontrollably while speaking, the ugliness kind of peeks through in a shocking way. Just like lipstick on a pig, I'd say. None of this makes me feel the tiniest bit better about myself. It actually only makes me feel worse. Sicker, guiltier, more ashamed than any person could probably have the capacity to feel. I am scared to look in the mirror to this day because of the shock and frankly horror that I feel whenever I see my true face. Having lived 21 years in my own body has not made it any easier to accept it. Story 10. My 38F, long-term BF44M, has been using AI to discuss issues in our relationship. I say long-term because we have been together for 18 years and remain unmarried. While the reason for this isn't really pertinent to the post, it does set a tone. We've been having problems for years now, and things reached a peak earlier this year when our surprise baby was born. It's the same issues we go round and round about. This particular time it's been a good, while that we just haven't been speaking beyond the kids and holidays logistics. This evening I found his AI chat feed regarding us. It was quite unflattering to me. He'd input a few sentences about how he felt about me and get long responses describing what kind of manipulation that was and my potential motives for using these manipulation tactics. And because this AI has been programmed and used by him daily for months now, it also went on about how he needs to remain strong and keep pushing forward with his long-term plans and ideas. There were at least a dozen prompts, so it was a lot of information, and this is really just the gist of it all. To say I feel an incredible amount of betrayal is an understatement. The last few prompts were basically an outline for if he wanted to leave me, what division of assets and custody would look like. Here's one. She's been so happy with the kids while ignoring me. AI says that's because I'm trying to ice him out and manipulate him to break first. I'm using the kids against him because I can't get to him directly anymore. How about I just want to be happy for my kids when I feel like shit inside? Another. She's been so mean to our daughter, making her do ordinary chores, just being really mean about it. AI says I'm taking my aggression with him out on her. Because if I can't get a reaction out of him, I need to get it out of someone. No, I'm just tired of her preteen attitude and constant complaining about helping me. I understand that AI can be a powerful tool and it's used by almost everyone. I still feel betrayed and sick from this. This can't be healthy. I just don't even know how to confront this problem.
Thank you for being here until the end. I'd love to hear how these stories made you feel, so leave a comment below. And if you'd like more videos like this, make sure to subscribe.